F-22 Raptor. It entered service in 2005 as the Air Force's first operational fifth-generation fighter built from the start for air dominance in contested skies. Lockheed Martin developed it during the final years of the Cold War to counter advanced threats, giving it supercruise without afterburners, thrust-vectoring nozzles, and a shape that defeats most radars. Only around 185 remain in the fleet, yet its combination of speed, stealth, and weapons load still lets it clear the path for every other aircraft in a high-end fight. F-35 Lightning II. It reached the active fleet in 2016 as the Air Force's primary stealth multirole fighter built around networked awareness rather than raw speed. Lockheed Martin created the A model for conventional runways while packing sensor fusion that lets one pilot see and share the entire battlespace in real time. Internal bays keep it clean and hard to detect so it can strike ground targets or enemy fighters with precision even when adversaries try to hide behind layered defenses. F-15C Eagle. It continues flying today as a pure air superiority fighter whose speed and radar reach still matter decades after its first flight in 1972. McDonnell Douglas designed the C model with twin engines and a large nose radar to hunt bombers and fighters at long range, and upgrades have kept its avionics current. Air National Guard squadrons rely on it for homeland defense because nothing else matches its ability to climb fast and control large patches of sky. F-15E Strike Eagle. It works as the Air Force's go-to deep strike fighter that can haul heavy ordnance while defending itself in the air. McDonnell Douglas stretched the original Eagle airframe in the 1980s to add a second crew member and ground attack systems without losing the jet's legendary range and power. More than 200 still serve because its rugged build and long legs let it hit distant targets and return home after missions that would stretch lighter fighters. F-15EX Eagle II. It arrived in the last few years as the modernized Eagle that brings new electronics and greater missile capacity to the fleet. Boeing built it with fly-by-wire controls and an advanced radar to bridge the gap until sixth-generation fighters mature, carrying more air-to-air weapons than any earlier version. The EX strengthens both air superiority and multi-role missions while the Air Force decides how to balance older airframes against future needs. F-16 Fighting Falcon. It remains the most numerous fighter in the inventory, a lightweight multi-role jet that has grown far beyond its original day fighter roots. General Dynamics created it in the 1970s as an affordable, agile platform, and constant upgrades have added precision weapons, targeting pods, and electronic warfare gear. Its low cost to fly and proven record in every conflict since the 1980s keeps squadrons training pilots and projecting power from forward bases worldwide. A-10 Thunderbolt II. It exists for one mission above all others, delivering devastating close air support with a cannon built to shred armor. Fairchild Republic designed the C model around its 30mm Gatling gun in the 1970s so ground troops would have an aircraft that could loiter low and slow under fire. Despite retirement debates, its toughness, long loiter time and ability to carry a wide mix of munitions still make it the aircraft soldiers call for when the fight is close and ugly. AC-130J Ghost Rider. It flies as the Air Force's most heavily armed gunship, turning night into day for special operations and ground forces. Lockheed Martin evolved the C-130 airframe with side-firing cannons, precision missiles, and advanced sensors so it can circle a target and strike with surgical accuracy. The J model's improved engines and avionics let crews stay on station longer, giving commanders persistent firepower that has proven decisive in counterinsurgency fights. B-1B Lancer. It serves as the supersonic backbone of the bomber force, able to swing low or race high while carrying massive conventional loads. Rockwell designed the variable sweep wings in the 1980s to let it penetrate defended airspace at high speed or low altitude, and upgrades have kept its electronics sharp. Around 4 to 5 remain ready because no other bomber matches its speed and payload when rapid conventional strikes are needed across oceans. B-2 Spirit. It represents the ultimate stealth bomber that can reach any target on Earth without being seen. Northrop Grumman shaped its flying wing design in the late Cold War with radar-absorbent materials and internal bays so it could deliver both conventional and nuclear weapons undetected. Only 20 fly today, yet each mission carries strategic weight far beyond its small numbers. B-52 Stratofortress. It remains the longest-serving bomber in history, a Cold War icon that still flies nuclear deterrence and conventional missions every day. Boeing built the H model in the 1950s with 8 engines and a cavernous bomb bay, and decades of upgrades have added new engines, modern avionics, and standoff cruise missiles. Its unmatched range and ability to stay airborne for days keep it central to the Air Force's global strike mission even after more than 70 years. KC-135 Stratotanker. It acts as the invisible lifeline that lets every other Air Force aircraft reach distant battlefields and return home. Boeing adapted the 707 airframe in the 1950s for refueling, and the R&T variants still fly with updated engines and systems that support fighters, bombers, and transports alike. Hundreds remain in service because aerial refueling turns regional power into global reach every single day. KC-46 Pegasus. It brings the next generation of tanker capability with modern systems built to operate even in contested airspace. Boeing developed it from the 767 airliner to replace aging Stratotankers, adding a boom that can fuel multiple aircraft quickly plus defensive sensors for higher threat missions. Its larger fuel load and improved reliability ensure the Air Force can sustain long-range operations far into the future. C-5M Super Galaxy. It delivers the Air Force's heaviest strategic airlift, moving outsized cargo that no other plane can handle. Lockheed Martin upgraded the original 1960s design with new engines and avionics so the M model can lift tanks, helicopters, and entire field hospitals across oceans in one flight. Its sheer size and range make it irreplaceable when entire units need to deploy halfway around the world on short notice. C-17 Globemaster III. It combines strategic range with the ability to land on short, rough runways anywhere troops need supplies. Boeing designed it in the 1990s with 4 powerful engines and advanced flight controls that let it haul heavy equipment directly to forward bases. Hundreds in the fleet mean the Air Force can move forces and humanitarian aid faster than any other military on the planet. C-130J Super Hercules. It operates as the workhorse tactical airlifter that can deliver troops and cargo to the most remote airstrips. Lockheed Martin's latest evolution of the classic Hercules added more powerful engines and glass cockpits while keeping the airframe's legendary toughness. The J model keeps special operations, disaster relief, and battlefield resupply running smoothly because it lands where almost nothing else can. E-3 Sentry. It circles high above the fight as the Air Force's airborne command post, tracking aircraft and directing the entire air battle. Boeing mounted a rotating radar dome on a 707 airframe in the 1970s so crews could watch hundreds of miles in every direction and coordinate fighters and bombers in real time. Even as newer platforms emerge, its proven radar and battle management tools remain essential for large-scale operations. RC-135 Rivet Joint. It flies quiet reconnaissance missions that gather the electronic intelligence needed before any major operation begins. Boeing modified the 707 airframe with specialized antennas and systems that listen to enemy radars, communications, and signals from high altitude. Various subvariants have supported every conflict for decades because the data they collect shapes targeting and tactics long before the first bomb falls. U-2 Dragon Lady. It operates at the edge of space, gathering imagery and signals intelligence that no satellite can match in real time. Lockheed designed the S model in the 1950s to fly higher than almost any threat, and its advanced sensors still deliver unmatched resolution over vast areas. Pilots endure extreme conditions to bring back the strategic pictures that inform national decisions when precision matters most. MQ-9 Reaper. It provides persistent unmanned eyes and strike power over battlefields where manned aircraft would face too much risk. General Atomics evolved the earlier Predator into a larger platform that can stay aloft more than 24 hours while carrying Hellfire missiles and precision bombs. Its remote operation lets crews monitor and strike targets for days on end, giving commanders a constant presence without exposing pilots to danger.